As you enter into the main building that you've got to go through to get to the stairs up to your dorm, you are alone in the empty hallways. Ollie, do you ask any questions, or are you just silently waiting to get to your dorm?
Visibly very shook, especially by the presence of somebody so heavily armed, and I've never heard of the NWO. I just think that I'm sleeping with some CFO or high-ranking business lady who for some reason is also very interested in my psychobabble.
So she's a good partner is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
God, what do you have to do to use your spheres?
You have to describe the domino effect you're trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. Try to achieve something that can be done with rank 1 or 2. You can combine them in any way. Then you describe the first few dominoes, and you roll your arete.
Okay.
I describe the target number, and there are a number of successes that are required to achieve certain effects. More successes to add more targets, more successes to add longer duration, bigger area, more powerful effect, more likely to succeed, those kinds of things. You stack up these d10s, generally over the course of multiple turns, as you continue the domino effect on the next turn, as the magic or practice of whatever you're doing builds.
Okay. I don't understand almost anything you just said.
What do you want to do?
I was just trying to get the kid to calm down. I've got 2 in mind.
Okay, so you can essentially just babble at him and hope that he calms down by distraction. Possibly show him what you've got in your notebook.
Yes, it's mostly nonsensical, but there's also some of the hottest gossip in the entire town.
That's a botch.
I scare the shit out of the kid.
The amount of nonsense you're talking, the amount of nonsense in this notebook, it would be ridiculous to believe that anyone would be calmed down by this. Gain 1 point of paradox. If you botch an arete roll, you will roll the number of dots you have in paradox, and the more successes you get, the worse it is. You've accumulated a small amount of paradox. Nothing lethal at this point. You've got half a star on the Reality Police GTA game. Yeah, no, Ollie, this is not making any sense. None of this makes any sense.
Fuck. And at this point, just young fuck.
At that point exactly, all those little fire alarms that are along the halls, they give that, like, really unnaturally bright white flash when they're doing the fire alarm.
Oh, God.
All of those emit a bright red light and start blinking as alert, condition beige, level 3 reality event underway. All clinicians of level 4 or above are required at breach site in sector 0. All others retreat to sector 8 until condition glass. Repeat message.
John is going to pull the fire alarm. Is there a fire alarm? I'm going to pull it.
John wants to pull the fire alarm. What did you say, Betsy?
How much of that technocratic gibberish do I understand? I have been processed.
Some hypertech is being activated. The part about chronicians, that chronicians have to do with time, some sort of time division of the Void Engineers or Iteration X? They said VE or ITX jurisdiction, so it could be either.
Do I understand the phrase condition beige or condition glass?
Yes. Condition beige is just another way of saying a level 3 reality event.
I would hope they're using a really generalized term for that if it's an emergency thing, but it's possible that I have no idea what those mean.
Moderate threat. Nothing that you want people to see, but nothing that's gonna blow up the building, hopefully.
Okay, that's beige, and then glass is all clear. I don't know the sectors of this building, unfortunately. I'll look at the kid and say, I don't suppose those are sector names you're familiar with attending this college.
No.
Not at all. But I did not get this close to not get the shit I want. I start booking it to my dorm.
I'll follow.
Booking it up the stairs. As you're one of the nuclear science students, you're nearer to the science wing than anybody else. You're nearish the reactor core. You know that it's just a few hallways down from here. As you're running up the stairs, the warning repeats itself, but you get up to your dorm. At the end of the hallway, there's a spider outside the window, and it's the size of a truck tire. It looks vaguely mechanical, but it moves like it's alive.
That thing needs to fucking die.
With a crash, the window breaks as its metal legs punch through.
John is going to scream.
You're not terribly strong. You're not terribly agile, but you spend a lot of time on your feet, a lot of time chasing people down.
Mm-hmm.
You do have stamina. They go up 3 flights and they're huffing and slow down. You, at the meantime, were like a flight down, but you catch up to them. You're not huffing at all, Betsy. You were puffing the hardest.
Somebody made me smoke a weed and then run up several flights of stairs? I don't do either of these regularly.
John is not the type to take the lead in going to somebody else's dorm, so you're not the first person to see him, but you are at the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You are all at the top of the stairs when you see the spiders, and the spiders crash through. And I say spiders plural because there are 3 of them.
John screams in the highest pitch you have ever heard. It is almost a dog whistle.
Fuck.
And John is going to jump over the stairs.
All of the lights go out, except for the red flashing lights of the alarm and the glowing green of the spiders.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, I'd really like to take a picture when I catch my breath.
Am I close to my door?
The door is between you and the spiders. For now. But it's about halfway between. They have just crashed through the window. One of them is inside the building. One is midway crawling out. And you can just see the legs of another one coming in.
Jesus Christ.
The lights nearest to them are flickering. Ollie, you managed to make it to your dorm door, and you're fumbling with the keys to get it open when you realize it's unlocked. You know that you locked it when you left.
Oh, fuck.